First of all, allow me to thank you. You all have been very kind. I know that the MC Shivani ji and Rajiv ji have been very kind, very liberal with the words of praise for me. I'm humbled actually hearing all of them, because I stand in presence of people who probably achieved many times more than what I have done in more difficult circumstances than I have done. So therefore, thank you so much for allowing me to stand in front of you and share my experiences with you. It's a privilege coming to the PhD chambers. Certainly PhD chambers has been doing wonderfully well. It's not just the oldest, but it has stood the test of time and added value to our society and each of the members that have been part of this. I was also part of PhD chambers, some other events as well, and I saw a lot of energy in their events. Today's your annual session that you have, I love the subject that is there, which is leveraging the demographic dividends for our country. I think it's immensely valuable for each one of us. Now I know that each one of you has worked very, very hard, wherever you are. If I was to ask you this question, then how many of you are here who've been handed over what they have on a platter? Will you raise your hands, please? None. How many of you are here who've actually done something, moved ahead, overcome challenges, whatever they were, and made something out of what they got or what they didn't have? Please raise your hands. This is what defines a person. It's not what you have, it's what you do with it. So it's not where you were born. It's where you were born and where you moved ahead from it, irrespective. And there are a couple of things that make me very proud of my country, and for all of us to be proud of our country and make us it's a very promising country. One, of course, is this, the hunger that you have just demonstrated, the hunger to do something. The second, if I ask you this question, why did you work hard? You all said you worked hard, you put your hands up. Why? Why did you do it? It boils down to a couple of things. It's not the cars that you drive in, not the houses that you live in. There are a couple of things which are the human needs, and which I would, if I was just to reiterate them, they are certainty, uncertainty, significance. You know, when I walk in, you clap, you make so much of me, I feel significant. Each one of us wants to feel significant. Growth, love and connection. And lastly, contribution. If you ever think, why did you work hard? The reasons will be one of these six that I've defined. And what makes this world beautiful, and especially our country, are two things: the hunger that you all have, and lastly, you all want to contribute. When we have something and we are very happy about it, we want to share. You go to a restaurant, you serve a lovely meal, lovely looking dish, you take a picture of it and you want to share it. You go on a holiday, you see a lovely scene, you want to take a picture and share it. You want to share your growth. You want to share your secrets of growth. When you talk to youngsters and you tell them, you know what? You keep in mind, I see a potential in you. It's your contribution. It's sharing. When do you have enough? You have enough when you want to share. That is when you have enough. If you're not sharing, that means you don't have enough. Why does Hima Das win? Rajiv ji spoke about Hima Das. Hima Das, Sapna Burman, Sushil Kumar, Ravinder Jadeja. You take each one of them. They are from the most humble backgrounds that you can ever imagine. You know, there was a WhatsApp joke going on with so many such lovely examples of people succeeding and their father being a rickshaw puller or a rediwala. The joke was going on that the son tells his father, "Father, where are you getting a rickshaw?" So these are amazing examples of a country where people who had nothing have succeeded because there's tremendous hunger in them to achieve. And I think that is what is going to shape our country, because our country is full of potential. And I've always believed, you give an opportunity to anyone in our country, and whatever field it may be, our countrymen, our young people will do well. That is the strength of our country, and therefore you in your capacity can do wonders wherever you are. Not necessarily just from your industries, your manufacturing units where you have, from your houses. From the people who work in your houses. As simple as that. Now of course, by 2020, you know these figures, we're going to be, average age in the world is going, in India is going to be 28 years. Whereas it's going to be 37 in China, 45 in Western Europe. We're going to have 30 crore youth joining workforce by 2025. By 2025, we will have 4.5 crore people, young people, surplus in workforce. Whereas the world is going to have a shortage of about 56 crore people. The government has an objective of training 50 crore people, young people, by 2022. Now how do we achieve, how do we leverage this demographic dividend? So it is understood, it is given that we have a very large workforce, we have a very large number of youth. How do we make them into a workforce? So there are basically three things. One is education. Now in education, very recently, if you read the news, I found it a very refreshing, very positive news when the education minister said, and it was just yesterday, that we are going to reduce our syllabus for our young children by 50%, and the process for that has already begun, and they're going to make playing mandatory. I thought that's a very, very welcome news. You know, the Prime Minister says, "Jo khelega, wo khilega." And in fact, when I was sitting with him and he was speaking to the under-17 FIFA World Cup players, he was speaking to them and he says his experience has been that whenever he has met somebody who's been associated with sports, their character and their spirit has been very, very positive. And therefore, education is not just limited to classrooms. There's a lot of education out in the play field. And therefore, I think to make a complete human being, I'm very happy that now sports becomes mandatory, syllabus reduces. Skill Ministry is already introducing skill development within schools. So it has to be a combination of all of these factors that makes education complete for our children. So education is a must, certainly. The second thing is economic growth, leading to substantial employment opportunities. Now obviously, all of you are doing wonderfully well there. You are contributing to the economic growth, and you know better than me that worldwide there is instability in terms of growth, and probably in Europe it might be negative growth. But in India, we are still, and you just heard the finance minister speak, I'm sure he would have spoken about the 7 or 8% growth that India is achieving, and it is not because of anybody else, but each one of you contributing to that growth. So hats off to all of you, and this is what keeps India this is what makes India keep moving ahead. And therefore, if not just the government, which is contributing towards skill development, but all of you would also, in the areas surrounding your manufacturing units, your trading businesses, start including young people and start creating short courses for them, for developing their skills, for promoting their entrepreneurship, things will start moving much better. For example, when we all heard of Mudra loans, right? So the figures say 6.5 lakh crore rupees spent till now on Mudra loans. And about 10.5 crore people in India have taken advantage of the Mudra loan. So I, as INB minister, had to make some success reports. So I said, why look anywhere else in the country, which I may be blind to? I have a constituency of my own, which is Jaipur Rural. So I called the banks, because it's confidential. Who they have given out the loan to is confidential. So I said, fine, I'll play by your rules. I called the bankers. And I said, tell me, SBI, tell me Bank of Baroda, tell me, you've given loans. Yes, we've given loans. All right. Has there been people who've actually done something in their own life? Have they moved ahead from where they were? Yes, of course they moved ahead. Can you give me the names? Sorry, we can't because it's confidential. All right. Can I make a video of what work the bank has done? And therefore, I'll make the video of a real person, but I'll show that the Bank of Baroda has given a loan. Can you do that? Yes, of course, we'll give you names of people who actually succeeded. And the Bank of Baroda must be visible there. I said, yes, I'll make Doordarshan take a picture of Bank of Baroda and Bank of Baroda giving loans and SBI and everyone. And I said, but you have to do it in my constituency because then I know the person is real or unreal. And believe me, for whatever is said about Mudra loans, I in my own constituency have seen examples of people who did not have a rickshaw, used to borrow a rickshaw from somebody else, run it through the day and return it back to him in the evening with a rental to him and sleep on the footpath with no addresses, with no one to give reference of. These people today have a e-rickshaw with them, many of them. These are success stories. I have another very interesting example. So this person used to come to me because again from my constituency, used to come to me because his sister had widowed and she didn't have resources to take care of herself. He was an all right man, just barely managing. So I asked him, I said, all right, you're working for your sister. You're coming all the way from Jaipur to Delhi to lobby and to seek my support. What do you do? So he used to be dressed in a very normal thing, and he used to say, Sab, I buy some shirts and trousers from Kotputli, which is a small town, and then I take it to my small village and I sell it there. And I make some... I saw his dress sense change from what he used to be wearing to a much smarter one. And then out of curiosity, I asked him, I said, what difference is happening in your life? And he says, now I have done this, and I have a shop. And I now don't take it from Kotputli, I take it from Delhi. He used to come to meet me, so he started going to the market here. The difference in the prices was much better. He said, I took a Mudra loan. I set up a shop for myself. Now there are many such examples where the economy is building because there is hunger in all of us. You know, there's this old saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the fight in the dog that matters. I don't know if the media is here. If the media is here, they'll start talking about me speaking about dogs and fights. So this is a quote, I'm quoting Mark Twain. Because this happens, they'll just take out the dog and the fight and they'll make a whole story of it. So my apologies and my request, don't do that, please. Lastly, and for me, even more interesting is building a character in our youth. So education, we spoke about skill development and growth of the economy, which actually allows people to work. But lastly is the character building in our youth. A sense of positivity, a sense of feeling confident of themselves. Now all that again is achieved by multiple factors like sports and like skill development and a combination of all these things. And to that extent, I'm really proud that we've been able to take sports to the grassroots level, to the grassroots as well as to the elitist level. The sense of confidence in our youth is so tremendous these days, and it's amazing. Again, speaking of Hima Das, now I've been a sportsman myself. I've been to these events, but believe me, I've never seen the kind of confidence. And let me refer confidence as attitude, because attitude would probably define confidence even much more superior way. The attitude of a champion is so remarkably displayed in our very young athletes these days. Hima Das was asked in the training, so I was there in the Asian Games for about 3 or 4 days, and this was her heats going on. So she finished the heats and she came across to meet all of us. And I said, look, what are you doing here? I'm not clicking any photographs with you. You go and train because your finals are tomorrow. And then somebody says, you didn't run that fast, one of the officials. You didn't run that fast. So she says, of course I didn't run that fast because I'm going to run fast tomorrow. That's the sense of confidence, very great attitude. And when did I feel very, very proud? I was sitting in the audience, and there was this journalist from, he was an independent journalist from the International Olympic Council, and traveling around the world, and he tells me, Minister, can you please get me an interview by Hima Das? I said, wow, that is something. These Firangs requesting us for an interview of a potential champion in Hima Das. So those are the things that makes us all so much proud. That's the attitude. A 16-year-old, 15-year-old, Asian Games or Commonwealth Games, going and not just representing India, not just getting awed by the stalwarts which are there, which he or she may have seen the pictures of in the magazine. No, goes and beats them, claims the gold medal. 15 and 16-year-old, I can't help calling themselves just kids, but that's the champion. So this attitude is so new and so fantastic, and this country is so hungry, and this country has people like you who are willing to contribute, and therefore I don't see any reason that India by 2025 will be a world leader.